What's up, everyone? Dalton Deardorff here. Coming to you, I know, with exciting news. We have basically setting a plan in motion here to get started with US Open Local Qualifier prep. Now, I played in last year's US Open Local Qualifier out at Hillendale Country Club, just north of the bridge in, I believe, Phoenixville, Maryland. So, went into that US Open Local last year with zero prep pretty much, and felt it. Got out to a good start, made par, and actually chipped in for birdie on the second hole. So 1 under through 2 was feeling good, and the vibes just went downhill very fast from there. So the plan is for me to not only explore this 4 months out tournament prep for myself, but to explore it for my players coming into fall of 2024 of next year. As some of you may know, I have taken the head coaching position at Salisbury University for the head men's and women's golf program. So it's a little bit of exploration for me over these next 4 months to see how I want to tailor do's and don'ts of good tournament prep, especially high-level tournament prep for a US Open Local Qualifier. So excited to get into it and kind of start with just how do you prep 4 months out, right? It may seem kind of crazy to think of preparing for a tournament this far in advance, but or at least my thoughts are, is I need an assessment, right? If you're going to put a plan in motion, if you're going to look to play high-level golf early in the spring, especially in the cold weather states that we live in up here in Maryland, I consider one of those. We get our mild days, but we get our days that it snows too. How are you going to play high-level golf early in the spring? Well, that starts by prepping now. It starts by prepping in December and getting a jump on a plan so that you can execute the plan in January, February, March. And by the time April, May comes around, you're peaking. You're hitting that peak early in the season rather than hitting the peak in the summer months. And like I usually do, I'll peak towards the end of the summer when I play well in the match play events at my local club, or I'll play well, really well in the club championship, and then play well even better into the fall because I've finally peaked there. And I think over the last couple of years, I've really realized that in order to play at a high level early in the season and look at the U.S. Mid-Ams or the U.S. Open Locals, you've got to start planning now. So what does that plan look like for me? I think it looks like a fitness check. First and foremost, it looks like how am I doing physically, which if you've been following me over the past couple months, I've gotten back into my first form grind, as a lot of my friends call it, supplements being a number one thing, nutrition being a number one thing, and being in the gym in some way, shape, or form 5 to 6 days out of the week. Back-ending that, how is my rest going into the fall? How is my rest going into the winter months? And I think a big focus for me, first and foremost, when you're looking at that like overall fitness check, a lot of people skip over the rest and kind of not rehydration so much, but the rest and replenishment of your muscles and everything that goes into, if you're working hard in the gym, what does it look like that you're replenishing yourself to be able to work hard again tomorrow? So first and foremost, I'm going to take myself through, you call it like a car, like a multi-step inspection. I want to take myself through a cardiovascular inspection. I want to take myself through a flexibility inspection. I want to take myself through a speed inspection and just check all of those metrics so that by the time the end of December comes around, I can put a list in place, or even the next couple of weeks, I can put a list in place to start having a plan going into January and February of where I want to be physically. And then, so you put that plan in motion, you put your physical plan in motion, and then you say, okay, Dalton, you're getting ready for a US Open Local Qualifier. You're not getting ready for a fitness qualifier, right? So yes, I agree. Let's look at the golf game. You've got to set and implement an assessment for that as well. And what does that assessment look like? Well, initially for me, it looks like top to bottom of the golf game. What does the driver look like? Are you happy with the distance of your driver? Are you missing it to the left? Are you missing it to the right? Statistics, right? Run the statistics of the last 20 rounds you've played of the year. What have you looked like off the tee? there's your, step one. And then you move out to the next shot. How has your iron game been? How has the long irons been? How has the short irons been? Where's your miss? Statistically, are you short? Are you long? Statistically, are you left? Are you right? And then like this multi-check inspection of the assessment of the game is where we head to next. And it's where we make a point to just start gathering statistics over the last 20 rounds that I've played and say, here's where I can get better. And then from there, you can put a plan in motion to get better, to focus on maybe the short game, focus on maybe the mid irons or the long irons, and focus on where that miss is and start to dial that in. I think, when we talk about getting ready for a US Open Local Qualifier, it used to scare me. I used to just put in hours and hours at the range and beat balls with no purpose. And instead, I think I'm starting to flip my approach here to start early, to start often, and to be purposeful and to get dialed. By the time that, May comes around, there should be no questions of where the miss is. And if there is a miss there, that miss is within 5 or 10 yards. It's not 15 to 20 yard miss. So, as you work down the game and as you work down where you can get better, another massive component of this assessment that I'll take you guys through on a later video is a mental game assessment. Concentration and focus, confidence building, stress management. How are we checking in there? Do I have a defined pre-shot routine? Is it the same every time? Is it the same for my driver as it is my irons? And does it look different for my putting? Do all of these levels of the game check out, and do I have something I can rely on under pressure and under stress? And then another big thing that I think I've started to realize and started to really implement over the last few years, and it has done wonders for my game, is what does the tournament day routine look like? What does the morning before, if you have an early tee time, look like? What does the morning look like if you have a late tee time? What are you doing with that 4 or 5 hours that you're just kind of waiting around? Do I get in the gym? Do I do some flexibility movements before I go and go to the golf course? How early do I get to the golf course? What's in my golf bag going to the golf course? Do I have bananas? Do I have Uncrustables? Do I have this list of things? And it should look the same every time, especially if you're trying to play high-level golf. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, guys, over the next 24 hours for myself, is basically taking myself through this entire assessment and then reporting back to you guys tomorrow. So I think what's exciting is, and if you listen to the Wonderful Walks in Golf podcast, Dante and I basically laid out the plan for the next 4 months. It's assess everything and then get to working on everything I need to work on to peak in May and to peak at that US Open Local Qualifier, so that we can have a shot at making US Open sectional going through Dante's home course at Running Deer. So I'll check back in with you guys. I'm really excited to bring you daily content as we move forward with this, just to keep you guys in the loop and to give you guys an idea of what it takes to play at a high level and what the professional players really do, every week or every month. They go through these assessments. They go through, and they've got a full team that does this for them. But I'm excited to kind of give you guys a peek behind the curtain of what getting ready for a US Open Local Qualifier looks like. So if you haven't, follow along and follow my Twitter as well. Follow my TikTok, as I'll be tuning in to keep you guys updated with this day-to-day process. And I'm excited to get to work and show you guys that there's a lot of good things going on here in Salisbury, Maryland. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll check in with you guys tomorrow after I go through this assessment, and we'll look to put the plan together for the next couple months. So thanks always, guys. We'll look forward to hearing from you.